I just Googled actually 20 minutes ago, like, what does the pattern mean? And they're like, oh, it's about la 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 la. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't give a fuck about that. So that's what I set it to today. So maybe it'll be even better than before. Who knows?
You know how there's like a circle and like a weird concave donut?
So do I want the butt looking one?
Maybe we should Google this because like the butt would be ideal, but I don't know where the butt end is.
I don't think it matters. Let me just Google it.
It doesn't matter. If only we
But
could
I
Google
think
it.
it's the top that is the butt.
Like the tippy top, at the very top.
Yeah. Because I don't like. I think like the roundness. I think is to help prevent like the type of thing.
Oh my god, I blacked out this weekend in a good way.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it was a block party. The Iowa City like big downtown fest, and it was amazing. I got there early because we thought it started at noon, but it started at 4. So we got to partying at like 2 p.m. after I was done working. The last thing I remembered was rain and my shoes were wet, but it was not good. But I had a good time. And I woke up in a pool of vomit the next day on my bed. No regrets. 10 out of 10, good party. But I just wish I remembered more of it. So.
Right. That's always tricky.
But it's a drinking festival, so I don't regret drinking enough to forget. I just wish I had a camera attached to me that I could refer back to.
Yeah, that's always fun. I think we're like one time, I think like for like Pride or something, you had like a TikTok where you were like checking in with everyone, and the next day, that's how everyone remembered like what happened. Sort of documentarian style temperature check almost.
It's a slice of life. And it's funny because that I remember that year, and I did not remember. I the next 2 days I told Alex like, oh, we forgot to do the end of the video, and he was like, oh no, we did it, and I was like,
you uploaded it.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, this was after. I was like, oh, we didn't get like the rap at night. Then I looked at my phone and I was like, yeah, you're right, we did.
I know. Oh my god.
That is the one treat when you black out and then you do something good, and then you figure it out the next day.
Yeah, it's like a little treat.
It is like a little treat.
A little doggy treat for your drunk self to enjoy when you're sober.
You know what? I have done that to myself, but it's always backfired because I'm like, I'm gonna like hide this thing, and then when I find it, because I'll remember it, I'll be like, oh my god, I'm so glad I did that, and then I never find it. And
I seem to remember one specific instance of that happening
with me.
I don't think it happened with you. I think it happened with Alex, but it's not something we can talk about on camera. I've just been like the past 2 months, I've just been in such a little like a portal, but like in a different dimension of just going to work at my 9 to 5, getting off, playing Dead by Daylight, and then doing it the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and the next day. And that's it, and not doing anything else. Just like my roommate and Isaiah are the only people I talk to. So I like
and me
and you, but like I was like, oh my god, I haven't like texted Alex in like 3 weeks. Oops. He's been playing I think it's the Elder Scrolls or Skyrim or something. I'm not too sure.
I love when like the time loop just like gives a little bit, you can like be in it, but like break away.
I've just been so miserable with like trying to quit vaping and then like doing it again after a week of like quitting that I was like, okay, let's just like keep vaping for now and then come back to this later.
I thought you replaced vaping with something else a while ago. Or at least like left it over there.
Like the pine needle basket weaving is on a brief intermission. Just because it's so hot, I don't want to boil the water with Isaiah and like the Dead by Daylight event. It's just, it's hard to find time.
There was an event. I mean, you have so much more free time now that you're kicked off Survivor online.
I know. The season just finished. Officially.
The whole thing? So, tell us about your successful juryment.
It was not so successful. They handed out like 10 awards at the end where it's like biggest villain, like best confessionals, like fan favorite. I didn't get any of those. But the worst move award went to the girl that eliminated me.
I was gonna say that. Oh my god! Of course it did. That always sucks when your mover gets the worst move because you didn't get anything technically, but you contributed to the worst move.
Right.
And that's the definition of the worst move.
Well, that's kind of what like a lot of people were saying. So I think I might have just been a bit too bombastic and
You were an obvious threat, and you got to
Yeah.
go back in for All Stars and be more.
That's what I was getting to. The next season is Second Chances, and the theme is Back from the Dead.
If anyone comes back from the dead, it is you. So
right, that's what I'm
please.
like. I'm a pseudo goth, washed up punk trash. This is definitely my brand, my style.
Let me just say, you're not washed up. You are exhumed,
True.
which is way better.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The eliminated people like in the season got kicked out of an airplane, so I'm unsure how I would be coming back from the dead within this like universe.
What do you mean kicked out of an airplane?
Yeah, within the storyline of this.
Well, you had a parachute. That's all that matters.
I don't think I had a parachute.
Your ball sack was so wide that it lessened your fall.
Right.
And you landed just like one of those flying squirrels.
Yeah, or like a hamster that's like tied to a grocery bag, like being thrown off the Empire State Building.
Literally.
It just
That's who are they to question how you made it? Like you made it and now you're back.
Exactly. I'm back from the dead. But since the season that we just finished is like a lot of new players and also the most recent season, I might have to deal with a lot of people that I might not want to deal with.
Well, nobody said Survivor was fun, but I get it. You know what? You're good. Oh my god, you are Survivor All Stars. It's gonna happen.
Hopefully.
This was a fumble. Obviously, you were the worst person to let go according to the popular vote. So now they know what they're missing because they all watched this. And you have the clout, the stamina, the uniqueness, the skill to make it.
Right. I did tell one person about the pod and he was like asking about it, but then he got eliminated, so I couldn't talk to him.
Did he die?
No, he's still alive, but now he's in like this like different competition for the traders, like type of thing on Discord. And I'm watching it, so now I can't message him again to be like, here it is. He's
Does
from
he follow
Montana.
you on Discord, or is that how it works?
I think we're friends on Discord.
Then he can see it when you post it.
I don't know. Discord, I don't understand fully because within each channel, you have kind of a different profile almost. Like the direct message itself, like I guess I could post the pod there, a link.
Well, now that you say that, I don't know how Discord works either. I have it but I'm on like I'm on one channel room whatever for like this like video production crew community local. So I mean I've never ventured out of it. I know it's huge. I'm with you. I don't know how it works. I don't know if there's like a public like hashtag like thread or themes. Discord is just all unorganized. It's not like her sister Reddit who is like type A.
Yeah.
You know, everything has a category and like they're champions.
It's like a gigantic labyrinth of chat rooms, basically.
That are findable because they are categorized and like.
Right.
I guess is indexed the word that the people would use. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's very indexed. Where like each channel is like a sub channel, and some of those channels have little voice channels where you can like speak to people or whatever.
Wait, is that where Twitter stole that idea from? If it's okay to dead name somebody, it is X.
Yeah, I don't call it X. I call it Twitter.
Same.
I was just in the shower thinking, I wonder when Elon is going to sell Twitter for like a fraction of what he paid for it. Like, because eventually it has to start going down. Like, no one uses it anymore now that he's kind of taken the helm. And by that, I mean, like, my desire to use Twitter has, like, gone down exponentially when I remember that the figurehead, fountainhead, or whatever.
I still use Twitter for porn because, you know, it's a new Tumblr. You're right. When is he going to do it? I feel like Twitter is one of his, like, his ego is too big to let go of it. He's either going to shut it down or, like, run it into the ground, which he's not going to shut it down. Like, that would be, can you imagine being the guy who shut down Twitter? He's gonna figure something out. I don't know though. Like this Twitter is like Elon's luxury car that he bought and is like accumulating dust in his garage. He doesn't care. He's
Right.
doing other things, and it's sad because it is a community. I guess the real question is, when will people keep using Twitter versus when will they stop?
Yeah,
But yeah, you're right. That I guess to answer your question, hypothetically, when will he sell it? When somebody makes him a reasonable offer. But who wants a platform that's essentially defunct? When he fired like the majority of the Twitter workforce, nobody cared to make it better. So he doesn't care to make it better. Who knows why he bought Twitter? He bought Twitter because he's like a fucking psycho who like makes impulsive decisions. But I have my opinions about Elon's decision making. I will tell you that the Twitter purchase was not 100% reasonable move, and you don't need me to tell you that. We all know that.
I think he just drops too much acid.
Isn't it funny?
It's an ingredient.
It is, and kind of cool. What's that classic song? I find it kind of funny. I find it kind of sad. The richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor will do the same amount of the same drug and like still be where they are and wake up where they are the next day. Nobody around them really like notices or cares. Yet they still have, well, one of them has big global change potential. The other one has zero change potential because they're like an individual who lives under a bridge, and if they died tomorrow, it would affect at most 5 to 10 people. That's sad. Oh my god. Why did it have to get so sad? It's like magnets. One end is very polar, the other end is not very polar.
I think the polarity insinuates that it's just the opposite of the other, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's maybe there's a connection between the life that has a huge impact and a life that has little impact, yet it ends via the same way, which is like abuse of heavy drugs. That's what I was thinking of. It's like a MTV music video.
Maybe. I'm not too sure. I think like the shockwaves are much different between the two, but I think for a lot of the bare bones within like the stories that people share about going through, I don't know, like repeated hallucinogenic drug abuse, the story beats are the same.
Yeah, they're mirror images of each other, but like in different tax brackets, in different neighborhoods, in different socioeconomic statuses. And that's what's weird and interesting about it.
Right. But those things don't attract one another.
No, they repel one another, yet they coexist. All of the world has a balance between like wealthy, educated, successful people who do cocaine versus poor, uneducated, unemployed people who do cocaine in similar or same or higher quantities. Who knows?
But I think like opposite polarities attract, right?
You are right. You are right. I've read a couple
people
books.
Don't hang out with homeless people. They hang out with other rich people.
Unless they don't know. But yes, you are correct. To your point, like attracts like. So maybe like real life is not like magnets, but it is like cut magnets.
Like you're showing me a treasure map and I can see where the X is, but I'm not too sure exactly the path, the dotted line you're drawing, how it gets there.
Yeah, it could be
yes. It'd be like a butt.
Yeah.
On a microphone.
A butt mic. And you know, like some people don't need to like search for map treasures because they already have life treasure, which is a love for internet memes, which is what drives our meme segment.
The meme economy. Wait, did you hear the new Lord?
No, no, I heard the old Lord. I was literally listening to Solar Power earlier in your honor.
So she's on a new track with Charlie XCX, and it's been blowing up on TikTok.
She is not.
Yeah.
Maybe I have heard it. I just didn't read the.
We are so back. We are so back.
Oh, is Lord back? Can we get her? Can she be a guest?
That's a great question. We should ask. Well, L4 has to be sometime soon, within the next year, I'm assuming. So it's just a matter of time.
I agree that we need to audit Lord.
Right. She's just been so in her head.
I mean, you can only like play the artist card for so long before you're just weird.
No, on the track with Charlie XCX, she said the past couple of years I've been starving myself thinner, but then I gained all the weight back. So that's why I don't want to be in public.
Oh, she's just preparing for her Ozempic commercial.
No. New Zealanders are so like hippy dippy. They don't fall for that.
I don't think any other country has drug commercials like the US does.
Right.
We're making jobs for filmmakers, okay? Every time I see a drug commercial, all I think about is, okay, this thing employed like 15 to 30 people and paid several $1,000s into the video production economy, which I am a huge supporter of. So as much as I am against, what do you call it? The big
Pharma?
yeah. Big pharma complex, big med, big insurance, whatever.
Big
At least they're
people
making
on Ozempic?
big people on Ozempic. Stay away from the bears, okay? You know how the women chose the bears? The women chose the bears because they had good taste. Bear is code for dad bod, and everybody loves a bear dad bod.
Well, speaking of that, or messaged me today. He's like, and he showed me a picture. He's like, "This is the ex that I always like think about and like miss." So I'm like, "This twink, Cindy, this is Bones." Like, for every one twink you lose, there's another 25 in the crawl space. Just remember that.
Literally by weight alone.
Yeah, like whenever I see a twink, I'm like, "Oh, I wonder if he was used as like an extra like skeleton in the Poltergeist when like she's in that bloody pool of muck."
You know what? I'm starting to like twinks are starting to grow on me for whatever. Maybe I'm getting old, but like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Or maybe
I guess I
twinks are
am
getting
dating it.
fat. I have
I
no
am
idea.
dating a twink, so I don't have much room to talk. But
Are you okay? So maybe are we just like refining the definition of a twink? Because maybe is a twink anyone under like 19, which is weird. Because your so-called twink has a beard, facial hair, and like he didn't seem maybe body wise, but
that's
like
true.
I guess I don't know. I guess I haven't seen it.
He doesn't fit the standard qualifications of twinkness. He's like 31, Latino, and has facial hair. So I guess probably not twink behavior. But I think like at the bare, like anyone can be a twink. It's just like skinny. But like the typical like prototype blueprint is just like skinny white guy in his 20s.
You are correct that twinks are skinny white guys in their 20s. But I will not argue, but like
push back.
No, not pushback even. Like everyone's twink definition is different, and I will throw out there that if you want my suggestions, if you want my twink tips, when you are a twink, everything you said, you're a young white guy and you're smooth. If you have some sort of hair that's beyond your head or your pubis and your butt and maybe your armpits, I guess another way of putting that is if you're a twink but you have facial hair, then that gives you some credits into non-twink twink territory. But like you can say, hey, I'm a twink but I have a beard, or I'm a twink but I have a hairy butt, or I'm a twink but my balls are hairy. So maybe is this the discovery of my like hair trauma? Do I think hair is too important? Is hair too important? Is it the hair that makes or breaks a twink? What Where's the thin line between a twink and an otter? Is it hair thin, or is it?
I think that you're onto something because I feel like
I think
twink
so
kind of
too.
implies like a youthfulness that is normally indicative of like hairless behavior. You know, like someone who's like 31 and has like facial hair is like very rarely considered a twink. It's very daddy type of thing, but that's also so laughable because like 31 is the new like 26.
Dude, because of inflation, 23 is a new 30. Like 23-year-olds can be legally called daddy now, and it's really like fucking up for the real daddies out here.
Epidemic.
Literally.
Old fucks everywhere they're pissed.
The bears are dying.
9 out of 10 boomers hate twinks.
No, they don't.
It's true.
I am shook.
Those are very important pontifications, though. Jojo Siwa was just here, but it looked like it was gonna rain, so I didn't go. She opened for Natasha Bedingfield, and Isaiah went and saw Natasha, and he said it was great.
Wait, okay, so you're saying you did not formally attend Pride, but your boyfriend did, and it might have rained, and he saw Natasha. So What was your Pride experience like?
I didn't go because we had done calisthenics in the park earlier or the day before, and he is the one who's like trained, so he's like, "Oh, you do this," and then he would just like demonstrate, but like he wouldn't really tell me like, "Oh, the point of it is to put your head up and then keep your arms straight and because you're like holding your like the entire point of calisthenics is to use your own body weight to work out. But my fat ass pulled my neck out and I couldn't move my neck for like 24 hours. So then I was like,
What?
yeah. So then I was like, no, this is over. So that's why I didn't go to Natasha Bedingfield the next day because I was like, I don't know. Plus, it was like looking cloudy, and like there were thousands and thousands of people to see JoJo Siwa, and I was like, oh my god, if these people are still here, I'm gonna like blow my brains out. Like I don't want to walk through all those people. Imagine like you like there is a like Tashi Bedingfield is performing at like Deadwood, but to get there you have to like walk through thousands and thousands of people from like the like pedestrian mall all the way over there.
I will do it to see Natasha. I know it says she was like past her prime last week, but I still like her.
She's only like 41.
Oh, well, so that means her music is at least 15,
Yeah.
and I could be the daddy.
It sounded like really fun. It seemed like it was really cool. But that's the other thing is that it's so congested because it's a street festival that people were passing out left and right from heat stroke. And
Ooh.
Isaiah said like this guy next to him like was like getting heat stroke and like he was like passing out and like people were like trying to get to him to like help him out. But then like he vomited all over this little person and her friend. And like he was like, I felt so bad for her, like because she was like already a little person, like she couldn't see what was happening anyway, and now she's like
I
covered in puke.
I want to know why a little person was standing right in front of his puke path. Like, was this a friend? Was this like a nurse? Like, do we have?
Mm.
Do we know what happened? It doesn't.
No,
You don't have to answer this right now, but
it was just like a huge crowd of people, like towards like the front of the stage almost. Like he was pretty close. Like there was maybe only like 50 people ahead of him, but they're like so compact tight that the distance is like negligible, like maybe like 12 feet away from Natasha Bedingfield, I suppose. It might have been more, but because I was just saw it in a video. But like, yeah,
you didn't go. You just heard all of this.
yeah. I've been enjoying
Cool.
my alone time, just like savoring it. My roommate is out of town right now, so I've just been like, well, I was also still trying to quit vaping at that time, so I was just like, I'm not in the mood to deal with all those people. Because like if I'm not vaping, then I'm not drinking because then I want to vape, and I turn into a huge bitch. Um, it's a whole thing.
What if you didn't vape and then you just like put together a puzzle or something?
I know. Well, that's like, well, I was like, I need to figure out a way to circumvent like whatever. Because I was like having a hard time on Saturday before I went and bought another vape, as you saw earlier. And I was just like, God, I wish like I could just like talk to somebody about this, and then they would be like, "Don't go do it, bitch. Do not go fucking buy that vape, you dumb bitch.
You can always
Don't
call
do it.
me.
You can
Yo.
you'll survive another week without a vape. Like, trust me, and then you'll be fine."
I am a great accountability buddy, and I am
Well,
sad that
then
you didn't think to call me
I'll call
when
you.
you needed. Okay, please, please, I will like tell you all the reasons why you don't need a vape right then and there.
Right.
And well, dang, you know what? It's okay. So it's not your fault that you didn't quit vaping. It's my fault because I wasn't on your calling list. But now we fixed that.
Yeah. Oh well. I am supposed to go to New Orleans in 2 months, but I am kind of still debating on whether I really want to do that because it sounds like a lot of money to get a plane ticket. It's gonna be really hot.
What are you going to New Orleans for?
My friend's aunt like works in like hospitality somewhere and like gave her like a free room for 3 nights, but it was only on like this specific 3 dates in August, which makes sense. Like, obviously, no one's going to New Orleans on the hottest month of the year. But then I'm also like, well, like, like people always say, like, just travel, like, and like figure out like the money later. It's better just to like experience it if like you know that you can swing it. And because I'm not like broke, like I have steady income coming in. But then also, like, if I don't go, then maybe I could just go to Boston again in October, and that would be really fun. I would love to go to Mexico, but, like, that sounds so fucking expensive. Like, a plane
Uh,
ticket to Mexico.
I would love if you visited me down there this winter.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I want to. I do love leaving the Midwest in the winter time. So maybe I'll just like do one of those things where you like put it whatever like on a credit card that is like in 4 installments. Like so like instead of paying $500 for the plane ticket, you pay 150 every 2 weeks for like however many months. You know what I mean? Like Klarna.
I know exactly what you mean. And let me just say that I disagree with your theory of like using lots of credit cards for like things that you may not necessarily need. But other side to that is like if you want to enjoy your lifestyle and you can afford it comfortably, don't do it. So don't let me tell you what to do with your credit, but I will say don't use it if you can help it.
Right. Well, I don't really have a lot of like credit card debt. I only have like $400 credit card debt. But well, that's the other thing. Is like I have to buy a passport, which is another like hundred some
I
dollars.
told you I would give you your passport. So make your
Right.
appointment, Dan, because you're coming to Puerto Vallarta, and it's
I
gonna be
know.
amazing.
Sounds so fun.
Didn't I say it?
I think he's part Mexican. I don't know. It's weird because like the native like First Nation type of tea like it's very complicated in the Americas because of Mexico.
Somebody else started that.
Right. Well, that's why I was like, I guess it's like because the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, Portugal. I'm not too sure of that
So
lore.
everybody but the natives, right? Like this
Right.
conflict came from beyond the continent.
Right. Well, that's what I was like.
Nobody asked for an invasion.
I was like trying to explain, like, well, like the First Nation people were like here long before us, and they just kind of like migrated whenever they wanted. So now like it's like well like Native American and Mexico are like sort of synonymous almost in like some ways but also completely not. So that's where the tricky part comes in. It's like, do you say you're Native American or do you say you're Mexican?
Well, it depends where you were born. Like the Mexican border is pretty well defined in today's maps. This is 2024 for those who are watching in like 2054. But
Or 3000?
or 3000, yeah. If YouTube's still around, that would be amazing.
It'd be like kind of hilarious if we became like viral sensations in like 3002.
Yeah, the beauty of like pop culture coverage is that it is archival and relevant to human history, especially now that AI. Oh, we're also gonna train AI, so we are influencing future generations without like thinking about it.
But okay, this is like a thing. I sometimes think about this where like if YouTube ever shuts down, like millions and millions of files like will then become lost media.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of my biggest fears too. There's gotta be like some like organization slash nonprofit that will like back up the entire internet in a like you know that like warehouse with seeds in the Antarcticas or whatever. Like
What?
there's a
See?
big there's a big warehouse with like a collection of seeds of plants
Oh,
in case of like a nuclear fallout or whatever. Like we have to your point, if like all of the internet servers crash tomorrow, YouTube is gone, and there goes our podcast.
Well, maybe not. Wait, maybe.
I guess there will be memories. Some people will tell their children about this episode of Hot Cup of Slop where they learned a lot about themselves and society, and that's where if YouTube does not crash tomorrow or the day after that, we will end up in like some library.
Yeah, of Congress
Yes.
or the Criterion Collection.
Or the
Mhm.
Congress Library.
Well, that's the other thing I think about. It's like, when is archiving stuff going to kind of be a thing of the past now that everything's so digital? Like, are we really going to like continue to have like film that we find and are like, oh, thank God I found this. Like, now we can like archive it and like make a digital copy. Like, what are they up to these days?
I have no idea. We have a professional in film history who can answer this, but that's not me.
Right.
But
Or
if I
even
had
like
to get
music.
right, like archiving becomes as important as the people archiving it think it is, or they have access to it, which is really,
Gay.
yeah, gay as and hard to control when there are like 8 billion of you and like however many billion things to archive.
But wait, also, speaking of 8 billion people, yeah.
So, I mean,
But wait, also, speaking of 8 billion people,
I
like,
know her.
if there is like an overpopulation type of tea where like we can no longer feed 8 billion people, like, are we all going to die, or just like a certain amount of us are going to die where then like we just like continue on? Like, oh, well, I mean, now that there's like 1 billion people gone, like, I guess we just move on. There's like food for the rest of us. Or do we all go down?
No, we would not all go down because the planet is too big. We cannot all go down at the same time unless it's like an extraplanetary catastrophe, like a huge magnetic field that like evaporates the atmosphere. Then we all
Right.
fucking die. But no, like if the idea of overpopulation is kind of weird because it's unnatural. That's unlikely to happen. I get what you're saying about like not having enough resources to sustain the population, but then, like you said, those people just die. So it balances out. There is no overpopulation for an extended period of time in the grand scheme of things. So no, we will not all go down because if we're overpopulated due to a lack of resources, it'll just even out. And oh, there's a cat.
That's true. Because then I was like started thinking like, oh well, no, like greenhouses like will just become like sort of like those luxury apartment buildings where there's like 50 stories, and then like we'll just accumulate food that way. I'm also assuming everyone's vegan in the future.
Yeah, you're assuming that people have to eat. What if we like synthesize photosynthesis and all we have to do is like go chill out on the sun for a few hours and listen to solar power and like
Love
who
that.
knows? Wouldn't that be crazy if we learn how to get our energy from the sun like our plants do? But then would we smell like CO2? Are we gonna start emitting carbon dioxide?
We would start smelling like sunflower oil.
That bad?
No, I think it smells good.
Sunflowers are cool. They're so
Love
like
them.
fat and juicy. Yeah.
For real. I think sunflower is my favorite flower.
Really? Let's close the tab. What do you have to say? Did you hear about Hawk Tuah girl?
Oh no, I was wondering what that was like. What you were talking about?
So, Hawk Tuah girl is this like straight icon because the joke is that a move that your man will never forget is when you like spit on his unit. Hawk Tuah hit, you know?
Oh,
And yeah, it's an innuendo or whatever.
And it's
So
very gay.
I know, I know. That's what's funny. It's because the straight people love Hawk Tuah Girl because they've never gotten a proper, let's say, performance, and I don't know. It's just funny because she did
But
not
like,
show up in my circles.
why do you need to? Why do you need a hawk to for like a hand job or like? Because if you're like sucking dick, it already has your saliva on it.
I think you need to watch the reference video, and then we
Yeah.
can talk about this maybe tomorrow in like a special meeting of the podcast because this is like a hot topic and we need to like discuss it now. You know, the listeners are eager to know our opinions on Hawk Tuah Girl because she's an enigma. Maybe don't even Google it because like once you do, you're gonna start seeing the content, and it's one of those that you have to like swipe on a bunch before you get rid of it.
Yeah.
So
But this is like so weird is that like your TikTok has become like hit a fork in the road where it no longer is remotely anything near mine. I'm like, how do you not know about like the new Lord remix? I'm just like, that's
you're
wild.
so right. You're right. I don't know about the Lord remix. That's insane.
But I guess if you don't know Charlie XCX, maybe that's why.
I've heard of Charlie and I've heard of Lord. She's like from New Zealand.
Love it. Love that kind of stuff.
The kangaroo vibe, except not.
The
What's the
Kiwi
like
vibe.
Kiwi?
Yeah.
New Zealand Kiwi?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my god, she's my new favorite.
What do you mean?
Like, not that she wasn't like top 10 before, but like I love kiwi birds,
Yeah.
and the fact that she's related to one of them is so exciting. So,
They said it couldn't be done.
oh,
And she's out here like creating visibility for Kiwis everywhere.
literally, that explains her music. Like the kiwi influence is obvious.
Right. Mood ring, I can't feel a thing. Like Kiwis famously aren't scared of anything. They can't even fly. What bird can't fly? A fearless one, that's who. She cracked the code.
Don't make me list birds that can't fly.
Did you know that dodos didn't die because we killed them? They died because rats got sewed onto ships, and then those rats got off on the islands, and then the rats just multiplied and boomed and ate all the dodos' resources, and then they just starved to death.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, the resources. Okay, so the dodos were not killed by birds. They were
yeah.
killed by rat famine. Oh,
They were just killed by their natural resources being culled from rats that are just sneaky and like stow away on ships and then like sometimes get off those ships and yeah.
that is
But
fucked
that's
up.
like the like crazy thing is that like if you're on like a trail hiking, like you're not supposed to like go off the trail because then you could be accidentally planting seeds into like places that like they don't want them just because then like that specific ecosystem doesn't like isn't acclimated or ready for that type of plant to be around.
So embarrassing on behalf of nature how she's so fragile. But at the same time, it's humbling for us because that's us, dude. Like, that's like some alien ship spreading some nasty electromagnetic virus on our planet, and then we all die from whatever.
But they didn't know that. Like, I mean, what is our fault is pigeons. That shit they did on purpose, and that will piss me off till the day I die. If I see the person that brought those pigeons over here,
No, you're right though. Like they didn't know that, and they didn't do it on purpose either. Like nowadays, our the borders are like really secure in terms of biohazards and like. No, let me take that back. The border is not secure as long as the Democrats are in charge. But
Well, I thought you were going to talk about like those like news articles where it's like man was found with 33 exotic birds like in his trench coat trying to get on plane to transport them back to America. Um,
they wrote an article about me.
you're thinking of Enya.
She was the man with the 30 birds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
The other one,
the other one.
your competition.
That explains why she sounds like a bird. It's like her peers.
Yeah, the Miami girls, you got to watch them. They're sneaky.
Why not listen to like something sloppy and like
Right.
brain rot is in. If you're gonna get like what's the new like style smooth lobe or fleshy lobe, something like that, we give you that. Yeah,
Right.
this
Like
is where you get like your at home
mm,
lobotomy via listening.
I think the slop kind of insinuates like informal, not trying too hard. Emergency intercom kind of suggests like anxiety, high stress situation. You might receive really bad news. Whereas on our podcast, you can listen to it and you'll be okay either way.
Did you know that they just found slop in the moon?
I was wondering when they were going to find it.
I
We're
know we didn't
spreading our
hunt it down.
infection to the cosmos. In space, no one can hear you slop.
The slop is silent.
What's your message?
What is my message? I guess in the eve of Trek Fest, let's delve in the spirit of the series, which was not globalism, but like a friendlier community. Kind of like being friends with your neighbors by country. You don't have to like everybody out there. Like we all know those people suck, right? But like you can like your next door neighbors, and
Right. Well, I think that's
extend.
the entire point of Star Trek is like, oh, like there's like a planet full of like a race that like will operate completely different to our own, and that's okay. Even if they're like really bitchy, like you know, that's not their fault.
Right. Back to our polarity discussion, like there's always another side to the coin, like
Right.
life is
Right.
binary or trinary or 57 duplinary, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
what? Let's not get into like all the aspects of reality tonight because your computer is dying and we have to
All
go.
the Aries. My last words are the same as always. Good night, Rick.